SAHDPod Episode 28 Time Travel Part Deux. Recorded the 20th of July 2016. Would you like me to open the pod bay doors now, Dave?
Please be advised that this radio broadcast of Bad Pod on SAHDPod is for mature audiences only. The guys are drinking, and it has the potential to include coarse language and adult themes. Further, please remember that SAHDPod is a cooperative of primary caregiver dads. The views and language expressed by a specific host belong to them alone. They are not those of the group or the other members. Rhode Island DadCon 2018. You're all there. It's the night before. You've flown in to be at the Providence Biltmore, an upscale classic hotel that was opened in 1922. Catching up has been fun. Even though the weather has been an uncharacteristically cold 35 degrees, you braved the wind and the rain to enjoy a beer and burger at the Union Station Brewery. Suitably merry, though far from drunk, you stumble into the grand space that is the hotel lobby. Oak panel covers the walls from floor to ceiling and is adorned with pictures of the Great New England Hurricane of 1938. The place has the charm of a bygone era. Empty at 3 a.m., it's devoid of modern chatter, and without it, jackets, hats and cigars, flappers with bobbed hair and tassels, all come to mind. If you squint, you are almost there, illegal booze and all. Front and centre is a staircase that leads up to the hotel's great glass elevator. It's an add-on built in the late 70s, but doesn't look at all out of place. Instead, it rises up, piercing the ceiling without a hint of being tacked on later. As you struggle to see the joins that give its history away, Dan motions you all up to a plaque by the elevator's side. It says, "Glass elevator, built in 1978, used for time travel only." You all gather and stare, and from the deathly silence a familiar ding. The elevator doors have opened. First Craig, then Joelle, then the rest of you pile into a space that seems more at place in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory than here in Rhode Island. And once all in, the doors close with a whoosh. What the f***? Seems to be the consensus. But before there's time to think, the light dims and a voice calls out.
Welcome. I am Hal. Where in time do you want to go?
And with that, a projection appears. It's a timeline. Beginning at a central point showing plus or minus 50, it branches off to the left and right in 25-year increments. Hal speaks again.
Please choose. You have 1 hour. You must have consensus. This is a portal. The direction is one way. Forwards, backwards, by how much? Minimum is 50 years. Increments are 25. The doors will not open until a choice has been made. If you have not made a decision in 1 hour, you will simply cease to exist. Do not assume. Only I know the answers.
And with that, Hal is gone. And all that remains is a timeline and to choose.
Five, four, three, two, one.
Welcome to Bad Pod on SAHDPod, July 7th, 2016. We normally say where stay-at-home dads talk about their happy, sad lives, but the show isn't about our lives at all. As you heard from the intro, this is Time Travel Part Deux. we are exploring the idea of loosening things up a little and allowing the guys to curse and relax. And with that, it seemed like a good idea to re-explore time travel. But before I get in too deep, let's introduce the cast.
Deep.
And it is one big one, folks. So quickly say howdy after your name, fellas. Craig Levine.
What's up, guys?
Brett Roberts.
Deep.
Trevor Mulligan.
Holler.
David Torrelio.
Brett has STDs.
Nick Figel.
Hey, everyone.
And following up the rear, where he likes it the most, Dan Scott.
Oh, nope, he's not.
Hello.
As always, you'll find these guys on a website where you can check out cast photos, bios, and pictures, maybe even the penises in the future. Who knows? If Bad Pod takes off, that's always possible. And I wanted to be the first person to say both and penis on this show. So, time travel, eh? Well, you heard the intro, you know the scenario, but here are the rules. Guys, we only have 1 hour. In fact, we have less than that. We have 50-something minutes.
5.
Once I've got past the intro, I'm going to give you each a first round to give a little bit of spiel. 2.5 minutes each. Then I'll come back, and then we'll have another round of 2.5 minutes each, and we'll have the outro. And what we'll do is we'll basically tally up the votes at the end of it, and we'll decide which direction we're going. Well, maybe. It depends. If you don't, of course, you'll all die, because that's what Hal said. If you have any questions, you can use your turn to ask questions, and I'll get Hal on the phone, or I'll text him, or I'll check him out for his Facebook page. And on that note, what is it I was going to say? Oh, I was going to pass it over to you, Dan. You can go first. State the side of which you stand on this and your position. And when I say side and position, you can use whatever double entendres you want.
Okay, so I prefer the side closest to the bathroom to clean up afterwards. And position, well, use your imaginations.
I've seen
All
your
right.
face on here. I'd say face down, up.
That's the way we like it.
We are going to turn to nothing.
Don't let him
Don't
derail
let
you,
him
Dan.
derail.
They're taking away your time. Remember, you've only got 2.5 minutes, and you are being timed.
That's right. All right. I do have one question for Hal. Is this a round trip in time? Are we coming back?
No, it actually said in the intro it's a one-way.
Oh, one way. Okay, I missed it. Okay, well then I am all for going backwards. 75 years to 1943. My case for
was
it
a
is
max 50.
no minimum 50.
Minimum 50, 25-year increments.
75
got
years, 1943.
My bad.
Okay.
Yep.
The biggest con is that it'd be in the middle of World War II, but I am not of fighting age anymore, so I wouldn't have to worry about that. Yeah. Okay. Advantages. Won't be out of touch technologically. If we go into the future, you know, every couple of years, technology doubles. You know, so 50 years in the future, we'd all be f***ed. We'd be worse off than our grandparents are now. We wouldn't have to live without electricity or plumbing. We would have missed the Great Depression, and things would actually be on the upswing for those of us in America. All right. We could use our knowledge of the future, or of the future, you know, which would be our past, advantageously. Not too much to alter the timeline, but, you know, enough to be comfortable. Could arrange for our family's well-being through trusts or whatever. Big one for me is that I'd be able to meet and befriend my grandparents and great-grandparents while they're still alive and learn their stories that the family's lost, and arrange for that knowledge to be passed on to either my current self, which would be an alternate timeline self, blah, 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 or onto my son, which is my whole big family history project anyways, is to give to him. So those are my reasons.
Okay, so 75 years, you're going back in time.
Yes, 1943.
And you're checking out, you're tagging out right now?
Yeah.
Okay, you can go back to drinking.
I'd never stop.
And searching porn, which you won't get in 1943. And I'm going to bring a step up to the plate, Mr. David Torrelio.
I disagree with going into the past because we're going to be considered weirdos just because A, the way we're dressed, B, I don't think we'll be prepared. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go 75. Let's just go the solid 100 years into the future because I want to make sure that I step away from all of this. I want to step away from what's going on right now. Everything's happened. I can read a book about what's happened in the past, and I'm going to look right into the future. I want to see how much the world's advanced or fallen apart from where we are today. Just looking in the last 90, 85 years, last family reunion, I was talking to a great aunt of mine, and she was telling me about how she used to carry pails out to the bathroom or out to the manhole, whatever it is, the outhouse, because, there was no plumbing. So they had to, that was the task, that was their chore, and that's not my life. That's not what I want to deal with. So I'm going to go into the future. I want to see where the technology is, because I sit here in fear about what my child goes through or what she's going to learn, and how I sit there and think about, well, when I was a kid, you didn't have an iPad. You had to go outside and make believe. And I just want to see what the world has to offer in 100 years and how much we've advanced. Hopefully there's the magic answer for everything that we've been fighting for, global warming or world peace. Maybe Africa all of a sudden becomes a developed nation, or maybe China owns everything. So I want to experience what the world has to offer, and I don't want to look back.
Okay, do you have a pair of sunglasses with you in the elevator?
Yes.
The future is so bright because you'll probably need them.
Oh.
Oh, you stole my line. I was going to...
Oh!
Right into 80s music, yes.
Okay, well, since you happened to pipe up there and wanted to come in with an 80s reference, Nick, I'm going to throw it out to you now, mate. You've got 2.5 minutes. Give me your position.
I would go in the past. We have it's kind of laid out for us. I think, barring from Dan, I'd say building something for our family, things that we know what to play, stock markets, things like that, I think. Plus, like I said, it's already kind of mapped out. You just kind of touch a little things here and there, not to make too many ripples in the time-space continuum. And that's where I'd go, because in the future, I was going to say, the clairvoyant ZZ Top said, it's the future so bright you got to wear shades because it's all going to be desert. And I think it'll be a mix of Idiocracy. If you've never seen that movie, everybody
Macho
is
for president.
Yeah, exactly. I feel that a mix of Judgment Day, and I just think it'll be kind of a mess.
Okay, so you're saying that you're going to go back and actually make some money because you have some prior knowledge, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and based on your knowledge, ZZ Top sang that song, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not going to trust anything this man says from there on, because I do believe that was who was it who sang that? It was Corey. No, Timbuk 3, I believe. Is that right? I know that it was not ZZ Top though, so I'm not going to trust any of your stock market purchase.
Okay.
Okay, but based on what Nick was saying, you'll go back. How many years do you go back, Nick?
I'd probably do the 50, the minimum.
Okay, and what year was 50, by the way, fellas? Did anybody work it out?
Well, you want us to do math? That was not
come
on.
The
right, that wasn't on the
middle of the 60s.
That would be
Nobody said we had to
1960.
You
do
do the
math.
math for us. Somebody has an iPhone.
60 something, late 60s.
Okay.
1968.
There we go. Party time.
Okay, so Nick is going back to the 60s.
And Dave, you are right. Timbuk 3, future so bright, gotta wear shades.
Okay, so when you travel all back in time, do not travel with Nick and do not accept his stock market tips. And certainly if he says they won the, I don't know, Super Bowl or whatever else, I wouldn't trust him. Now,
yeah, I've been drinking. It's my fault.
That's true, and you all have been drinking. Remember, this is a night in Rhode Island, and you have been to the bar. Now I'm going to put it to you, Mr. Craig Levine. You've got a couple of minutes, mate. Go for it.
Popping open a fresh beer, because this is a conundrum. All right, guys, I really want to go in the future.
I'm going to pause you for a second there, Craig. Do remember, fellas, you can ask Hal questions. Don't assume that you know everything about time. Time has been
absolutely. I want to go see what the future is like. Hal, tell me about these different, timelines. Specifically, if I go backwards, am I screwing with the timelines and forwards? And what can you offer just on that question alone, Hal?
Okay, so you're asking whether or not it is a paradox-free timeline.
or what the conditions would be.
Well, it's
Forward
funny
or
you should say that,
backwards.
because on that timeline that has the 50-year increments, and it also has a paradox, non-paradox button. You can press it. And obviously one of them means that you can create a separate timeline, and one of them says you can interfere with the past.
Okay. So
Does that make sense? Does everybody understand what Hal's saying there?
I'm not 100% sure, but if I go in the past and I interfere, that means that there'll be two separate lines, or that means the line will change per whatever I change.
You can have two different universes.
If you press the non-paradox button, it will create two separate universes.
Okay, and then the paradox, I can go in there and screw with it, and have two of me running around potentially.
You can alter your
or
own
what?
timeline and create potential paradox. Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you, I want to go forward. I want to see what the future holds. I'm thinking 50 years where I can go and be the creepy guy and stalk my family and befriend them and my kids and grandkids. What's my time?
You're good. You've got 30 seconds. Keep going.
Keep going.
Okay, but
You have a van?
the sick side of me wants to
Right
go
now.
backwards about 150 years, and I want to create my own religion, and I want to use the knowledge I have with prophecies and help you guys will help me get the dates exactly, and I want to create our own religion and control people and get that power and wealth.
So you're saying that if you do go
Blackjack.
back, you want to hang out with these guys?
No, he wants the Book of Powerballs. That would be his religion.
But I want guys all in on it. If not, I'm going forward.
So if you go by yourself, you're going forward. But if you go in the past, you want to become.
We are all
God.
going together one way or the other. But if I'm going forward, I will just I can live
Kill
my
us
life
off.
without you guys. If I go backwards, I need your help. At least several of you guys in on my scheme, which I can elaborate on later.
So, Craig, can we make this religion fun?
Absolutely, it could be like a mix of. We don't even have to get that creative. We
Like
can kind of keep
hedonism?
it. Well, absolutely, because we'll be the gods of it. I mean, we
So
can
how
go
far are
with
you
it
going
however-
back to create this
I
alleged
said
religion?
150.
Well, it
150?
could,
You think you're going to be able to convince people at 150 years of your new religion?
Are you kidding?
Well-
Scientology just came out 20 years ago, 30
No,
years
that
ago. What are
was
you talking
quick.
about?
But
I'm
I think
I'm
that,
assuming that we don't age.
let me.
Hal? Do we
How are
age?
you going to?
Okay, you're going to have to wrap
No.
it up, Craig. You're the only one who's
Wait,
stolen
just,
more
just
time.
Last
Than
question: Hal, do we age if we go back in time, or do we stay around
you
age? for-
stay the same age. It's a portal.
Perfect.
It's a portal.
Well,
to the
I want to
past.
stay the same age and create, and I'll talk about my ideas if asked.
Okay, well, look, Hal's telling you to off right now. So,
Hal's a prick.
Yeah, he is.
Real prick.
Hal's got a virus.
well, actually, Hal is a prick. Have you not seen 2001?
yeah, well.
Is
Open the
Hal's
Bombay
a-
door.
Hal sounds like a child molester. Come into the basement.
Okay. No, come on. We've got to give the rest of the crew here. I believe that we have Mr. Trevor Mulligan.
Yes.
Trevor.
Okay. So my 2.5 minutes, I'll make this precise. I'm going back. I want to go back 100 years. My grandfather was 100 and almost 101. In September, he would have been 101. And it would be fantastic to go back exactly 100 years. And I'm doing it for unselfish reasons. It's not an ego or anything else. It would be strictly to help help my family progress in a different fashion. And I think that I can be the crazy guy in the past. I don't care, but I would have the knowledge that I think people would be able to respect. And I understand that we don't have all the technology and all of the luxuries that we have today. But look, guys, I'm an Eagle Scout. I'm prepared. I could survive in the wilderness. So that's basically what the past is, right? We could come up with the wondrous things of the plumbing to introduce it to the people. It would change my family's path and timeline forever. And so even though I would love to know what the future holds, I would not be as egotistical to think that that would be more important than me going and helping my family.
Well, that's kind of curious, actually, because while the rest of you have all been selfish sons of
That's right.
Trevor hasn't been.
Just self-centered.
He's
Self-centered.
shown that his travel back in time, he's going to use it for good and help his family. Brett.
And none of us. And help none of us. So that seems pretty
No,
damn
I mean,
selfish. If he's helping his family. So when he gets older and he gets born again, he'll be rich. So it's selfish. It's indirectly extremely it's even more selfish. He's trying to paint it as he's a freaking charity case.
So
no,
we're
I'm
going
a
right,
saint.
Trevor?
I'm a saint. Listen,
We're going with you. You're
did you
dragging
say
us along
snake?
to your family.
It's Skype there. I thought you said snake.
Hold on. You know, I will definitely help the family. I didn't say I was going to ignore you guys, or I wouldn't help your families do the same.
Trevor,
that is
How are we going to help our families if we're
Trevor,
with your family?
Will you be
How are we going to go?
Whoa, one at a time. One at a time. Craig.
Trevor, will you?
Dog pile.
Can you do your selfless acts and still be in my religion? Our religion.
Absolutely.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
I want to go back 125 years and be Trevor's great-grandfather.
I like it.
That's awesome.
Give me a sec. I'll find a picture of her on the internet.
And then make him like the son of a too.
Okay, look, let's not take away from Brett's time, because Brett, he obviously he's thought about this deeply. I do remember that he was the lone holdout for traveling back in time during the last time travel show. Has it changed at all, Brett?
Well, I got 2.5 minutes. So with my wife, that'd be, having sex 3 or 4 times. So I got lots of time. I got questions for Hal. Number 1, are we the first people to ever use the elevator?
Ooh.
No.
That's good.
Hal is an answer. Is he on MySpace?
Crap, Al.
Al is going to say that you are the most special people in the world, and you are the only people to use the time travel machine. What's more, you will be the only people to use the time travel machine.
Oh. So who invented the time travel machine?
Uh-oh.
Computing.
Whoa. That means this is untested technology, man.
Just exploded.
It's his time, but that brings up a lot of other questions.
Hal can't answer who invented it. No sooner can you say who invented you, Brett.
Oh, I know who invented me.
Well, that's another your mama joke.
Is that the only question you have for Hal?
I have such a good memory. I remember going into the backseat with my dad and coming out with my mom.
We'll give him a fresh 2 minutes here.
Okay. So I'm going with Dan. I'm going back 75 years.
Well, hang on. Firstly, why did you ask that question?
About which?
About were you the only people to do it?
No reason.
Sorry, everybody's talking. What was that? Which question?
Why was it that you chose that question for Hal?
If we're the first people to go back or to use the elevator? Because I was curious if somebody had gone forward. My next question would be, have any of them returned? Because my question would be is if they've gone forward, did they find the technology to come back again?
It isn't technology. It's a random act. It's magic. It's like the Catholic Church.
I was just going to say, it's religion. We're right back to religion again. I'm going to pray where I'm going to be. So I pray to be 75 years ago. And I'll tell you my reasoning.
Go for it.
Number
it's
1943,
as Dan has established. And can somebody else work out the other dates as well?
So I'm saying going back 75 years. And the reason why, if you ever look at books,
15 seconds.
How to tell your wives to treat their husbands back in the 40s and 50s. You came home, they brought you your slippers, they made you your meals, you went out with the boys. There's a reason why when we talk to our grandparents, they call it the good old days. And being a stay-at-home dad, I want to live the other way. I want to have that lifestyle. And with my knowledge of what's going on in the future, I can just put some money on some stuff, make some money, live the life. I see no reason to go to the future where it's unknown. You could just appear 100 years in the future and maybe the whole world's been wiped out by a nuclear bomb. There's nothing around. There's disease. There's famine. It's a horrible place. I want to go back where I know I got beer, women, and some movies.
Okay,
that seems like a pretty simple thing.
And we're going to wrap that up. Now, Dan, you established that 75 years ago was 1943, right?
Correct.
Okay, Brett, how old are you?
How old am I?
Mm-hmm.
How old do you think I am?
Well, you're less than 40.
I'm 39.
Okay.
Does
anybody know whether or not the Canadian Army would be calling him up?
No, not that age.
No,
we don't have conscription in Canada. We're actually a free country.
Not during the World War.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Okay,
Sorry.
we've got 5 minutes left of this half hour. I want to quickly run down. Dan, 75 years, 1943. Brett, 75 years, 1943. Trevor Mulligan, 150 years?
No, I said 100
100 years.
because
That was
my grandfather
great.
just died. But I'd be willing to go 75 because my grandfather was in the war. So I could be persuaded for that, but I'd still be
Find him
going back.
like
what he's gonna
Saving
be
Private
interested.
Ryan.
Okay,
That's
Nick,
right.
what was yours again? 75 or 50?
60 something, 63, I think.
Okay,
But,
so you're
you
going
know,
back to the 60s. It's
if I-
50 years.
68.
Craig Levine?
Forward 50.
Okay, so you're
Or
going forward.
religion.
You're into the 2058, 68. Okay, and what was yours, Mr. Torrelio, again?
2116.
2116. So that's
1,000
no,
years in the
actually,
future.
it's 2118 because remember this is Rhode Island. This is 2 years in the future.
Sorry, 2118. Yes,
Okay,
1,000 years, Brett. Is that
I
Canadian?
know. I'm doing metric.
metric.
Poorly
Okay.
divided.
300 days long.
okay. So
I
it
got my
sounds like
abacus
you.
in front of me.
No one's actually decided the short path. No one wants to go into the near, with the exception of Nick. Is that correct? Okay. Now we're going to run it around again, and if you have any questions for Hal, because remember, has anybody considered where or not they're going to land when they hop out of the time
right.
machine?
Oh, I thought of that.
It's gonna be
Wait,
in the
so-
sky.
So we're not just like moving forward in time and forward in location.
That's
That's a question to be
As
asked.
long as the elevator's on the ground floor, we're fine.
Is it a portal? Is it? I guess I'll wait my turn.
Wait,
but,
we're in
Wait,
Rhode
you say-
Island. Where in Rhode Island are we?
Did you say
I
it's a
don't-
portal or a porno?
It might be a porno on the
Porno
right.
time
I'm
machine.
It is.
it
Five
could
guys
be a
stepping into
porno,
an
but it
elevator.
would suck. I mean, it might suck so much.
I'm
that
not
it
going
would suck.
backwards if it's a porno.
It's Providence, Rhode Island. But again, you can
Vietnam,
ask
I'll be
Hal
stuck in the
in
bush
that.
looking for Charlie.
You can ask Hal in that next set of questions. So we do have 2 forwards and we have 4 backwards. So we're going to run it around
I
again.
really
Dan,
think this
has
is
anybody
inappropriate.
said anything that you would change your mind, or do you believe that you can add a little bit more to the conversation? Is there any other questions you have for Hal?
That was to me.
We're only giving 3 questions, right?
No, well,
No.
look. You can have.
I want to because if we have 3 questions, I want to make sure that Dan Scott used up one of his, and same with Brett.
Please just
You're only
ask
down to
questions.
Damn, question please.
Just trying to keep track of things here, you know.
Where is
we
the
are
other
going
one?
going to oblivion.
Okay,
and
let's
Craig
ask-
asked like
3
16
minutes.
questions, so
Let's let Dan give us.
Craig gets no more questions. Go on, Dan.
My question is, where in space do we land at the end of this trip?
It's funny, along with the paradox non-paradox button, there is a map of the world. You can go anywhere you want.
Ooh.
Oh,
Remember, don't
together.
assume Hal knows the answers.
Interesting. Still going back to 1943, and I'm going to Dallas.
You're going to Dallas in 1943. Please,
Hey.
you can't just say that you're going somewhere without explaining why.
Well, the reason it's a good central location to go and do the things that I stated that I would want to do in the first round.
If you're American.
If you're American, but you know,
I have
Last
a
check,
question
we all
for
are,
Hal.
except for that damn Canadian. But he can.
right? Yeah.
Have
Right, we can
you
outvote
thought
that.
about fame and fortune at all, Dan? I mean,
At least he's still on North American continent.
Right. I mean, like
For
like
now.
half of Hollywood fakes it.
I have a question for Hal.
Okay, let's wait, fellas, because remember we're going to do round robin. We don't really have that much time anyway. Who was it? Who was next? Was that Mr. Torrelio? Torrelio, I think you were the next one, yeah?
yes.
Dave?
So Hal, what do you? I don't have any questions for Hal. I mean, I don't know what to tell you about wanting to go forward. I think that looking backwards isn't positive. Hal, if I go forward in time, will I have the ability to create a time machine?
No, I mean, this is magic. It's the Catholic Church, I told you.
That's one question.
You're also assuming the world will be there in 50 or 100 years.
Okay, Hal, will the
Don't
world
forget
be there
Trump's-
in 100
Trump
years?
might be president. He might not be here in 3.
Boom. He asked the question.
Well, the thing is, I mean, David, you're talking about going forward.
Yes.
How are you going to make a living when you go forward? No,
I
I'm
accept
assuming
that I might-
the thing is,
Male
because you're going forward, you
prostitution.
don't need to worry about paradoxes.
Prostitution will be legal by then.
I'm not concerned about making a living. If it comes down to having to survive, I guess I'll deal with it when we get there. I'm probably not going to make a case for anybody to come along with me to go to the forward. But
No.
I can read a
wanna
book in
go
the
forward
past. I've
50,
read
but-
look, the past is interesting. It's nostalgic. It's great. The way it could have been, the way it should have been, the way it was. That's phenomenal. But looking into the future, I want to see what's going to happen next. I want to know what. Look, it's so comforting and so easy to go into the past because guess what? It's already been done. You can read a book about it. There's something that's already exists there. The future, it's the unknown. It's exciting. It's scary. So yes, we could go ahead 100 years and stay in Rhode Island and Rhode Island be completely underwater, or we could find out that global warming was a crock. And it's so hard to say that because we only live for 70 years, 80 years, 90 years, whatever, but that's nothing in the big picture. So I want to go that 100 years because I want to see how are things going to be different. Is the movie, I can't think of the movie, but are all people going to be basically like slobs? I mean, does
Wall-E.
everything become automated?
Idiocracy.
Wally.
Wall-E, that's it. Does everything become automated?
Well,
And we live out
that's
in
something that
space?
Hal can't answer. He can just tell you about the nuts and bolts. But I can understand your perspective there. So you're saying because if you go forward, hell, at least there'll be something new, and that's a point.
Yeah.
You will go forward, and there will be things that new. I mean, does anybody here have a health complaint that 1943 wouldn't solve? See, this is another fact.
Well,
No,
it
no,
could
my
happen.
rash is cleared up. Oh,
But we all become immortal. I mean, Hal already answered that. We will all be immortal to whatever age we currently are, right?
No, we will be that age when we get there. We'll still age
Right,
once we're
right.
there.
We'll continue to age. Yeah.
Just
I don't
we
know.
won't-
I thought I asked the question.
No.
No.
You will be
wouldn't
the
hear what
same
you-
age when you get there. Time will continue
what
as
you-
normal. You're not superhuman. This is a
All
time
right,
portal.
that
It isn't
ruins the whole religion idea.
yeah,
right,
you're not a god, Craig.
Yeah.
You're not a
The
god.
whole religion idea was based on I wouldn't age.
Yeah, but you'll still be 63 when you get back in time.
Now, remember,
Oh.
fellas, you do have to convince your other fellow
All right. Can I
elevator
go?
noughts here.
I have a
I
question for
want-
Hal.
Okay,
Okay.
let's go and process. I mean, I'm going to go to Nick. Do you have anything to say straight away?
I do have a question for Hal.
Go.
When we go through the portal, backwards or forward, do we go as a whole person, or are we destroyed on this end and reassembled on the other end?
You're asking the Star Trek question.
Yeah, basically.
You just walk out the door.
Okay.
It's just a portal.
Beam me
It's
up,
not a
Scott.
reassembly machine. There is no moving parts. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
And now answer why. Why were you concerned? Were you worried that Hal wouldn't put you back together straight?
No, just the whole thing about if you're eliminated here, you're a different person there. You know what I mean? You're not really the same material or not the same person. I don't think it's. I would have an argument that I wouldn't want to go through that portal.
You
You'd
just
rather
die
just
then.
die. Okay.
Well,
So-
okay.
That's my question. That's essentially.
I think
Yeah,
Mr. Mulligan was next. Oh no, was it you, Craig?
Sure. Okay, so guys, I mean, the whole religion idea, forget about that. I drank a little. But in all seriousness, and I want you all to really consider this because, yes, I am attempting to persuade you to agree with me. I firmly believe I want to go 50 years forward. And I believe 50 years, we can pick a location that's nice, high and dry, safe. Maybe Hal wants to answer questions on whether our location is safe or whether there's been world events. But let's just assume I can't. We could pick a nice high and dry location. We can all make a plan from how we stay in touch, and we can all go about our own ideals. I personally want to visit my family and be the creepy guy that stalks around them. I think that we'll be able to get work. I think that we'll be able to exist. 50 years forward, life won't have changed that greatly. 50 years ago was like what, mid 60s. Not that different.
Now, you hoping for bionic limbs and all the rest of it in the future, Craig?
If 50 years from now I can get a flying car and have a operation that keeps me alive to 150, that's great. I don't want to go the 100 years, David. I really just want to keep it at 50 so that I can be part of my current family structure.
Because, I mean,
get a detachable penis.
That's curious.
showing
I mean,
up 50
Craig
years
has
in
a
the future
chance
just
of
from easy.
immortality if he goes forward, doesn't he?
He wants to go to Rio.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Dave?
I said you got a chance of immortality because, I mean, who knows? You could get cybernetic limbs and all sorts going forward.
Yeah, I mean, especially the further we go, that would happen. But I think 50 years is pretty good.
Just think how much porn will advance in 50 years, the internet, everything. It'd just be awesome.
You could have a Bluetooth penis.
I don't know.
And what fun would that be?
Wasn't that a Depeche Mode song?
Wouldn't that be a red tooth penis?
That's the bad guy playing now, Bluetooth penis.
Okay, Trevor, you're up.
We're
You
gonna
had a question
die
for Hal?
soon.
Yes. Okay, I have a question for Hal. Once we use this once, is it still going to be there for us to use it again?
No, it disappears. Puff a smoke.
Okay.
It's a one-way trip, mate. There is no... let me reiterate.
Well,
it is a
I said
one-way
it was
trip.
a one-way trip, but once you get out, it may still be there for another one-way trip, going back in the same direction or forward or wherever it's going. You know?
Okay, Hal has a word for you. He says you cannot wish for more wishes.
Okay. Well, Hal can.
I can only rub me once.
Okay.
You can only
that
rub
was my
Hal
one and only
once.
question. I have nothing else to
Unless
offer
you're going to
except.
pay.
But you're still going backwards in time. Is that right, Trevor?
Yes, I would still go backwards.
But
I didn't
Third
swing.
quarters.
We're going to have to come to an agreement, guys.
now the thing is, though,
Well,
going back
there
in
was
time,
4
offers-
backwards and 1 frontward, or 2 frontward.
There was
forward.
2 frontward. Only
Yeah, I have
4 of you guys like it back up there.
Good question, but I'm going to
I'm
wait
a
till my
forward
time.
kind of guy because going backwards just seems uncomfortable.
boring. Okay, well, let's. What location? Where are you? Who's up next? I think you're up next, Brett. What location?
What location?
Yeah, because you could go home.
I would assume I would want to pop into North America just because that would be the most easy to conform to, just from a knowledge base and a cultural base. But I have a question for Hal. So if we go back in time, can I somehow send a message? And if it totally sucks, can I send a message to myself in the future that when I get into the same situation to go forward in time?
What can you just like? Well, the portal disappears the moment you get there. There is no.
I know, I understand that, but then the timeline continues and my family still continues. Could I somehow, would it be possible for me to pass a message on somehow to my future self that when they get into the elevator that this sucked, go forward?
But so you wouldn't. So you
Does that
would
mean we're
basically
going-
disappear the second you thought that question. You would disappear because if you actually wrote it out as you were writing it out, the act would already have happened.
No,
It depends.
that's paradox or non-paradox, right, guys?
Yeah, it just creates a different timeline, maybe.
If you choose the non-paradox, remember to press the button.
So
So
you're
you're
right.
choosing for the non-paradox.
Yeah, I would choose the non-paradox.
And
I
then,
would
So
choose-
then you can't.
No,
as you,
sorry,
the
sorry,
second you
I
pull
lied,
out
I
the
lied.
piece of paper, you won't know.
I would choose the paradox, so we can.
The second you think about the question, you won't know because if you,
So- if in
Hold on.
paradox, we've
Hold on.
learned
If
everything
a paradox,
from the
I can
movies.
choose each. If I choose a paradox, then I can still do it, and we can stay on the same timeline we're on, but somebody else can go on a different timeline. So I would still go back. Back to me is, you know what? If you're in a situation where safety is the main concern, you're going to go somewhere warm, safe, and that you understand. And for us, that would be in the past. The future holds so many unknowns.
Okay, where are you
Nice.
stepping out of your time machine, Brett?
Where am I stepping out?
Mhm.
If it was me, I'm going to lose this battle. I'd probably step out somewhere in Canada, probably Western Canada, on the coast.
You lose.
Vancouver. Yeah. Yeah.
Gold
so-
rush. You can get me with the gold rush.
so
Yeah,
this
there you
is
go.
in the
There you go.
1940s. We're gonna jump
Vancouver.
out of your time date in the 1940s.
into
No.
Vancouver,
We'd have to
British
go
Columbia. You know
Okay,
what-
you
Hey,
step
hold on,
out in the
hold on,
1940s,
hold on.
Brett. How are you making money?
Come on, in 1940, you still got lots of different. You get a job.
Brothel.
You're going to buy your
in-
Apple stock?
Brothel.
No. if I was going to pop up in 1940s, if you ever seen the cost of real estate in the Lower Mainland back in those days and how quick it rises, probably when it starts to get to the 80s and 90s, which obviously I probably would depend on my age, but I'd be able to buy a ton of freaking property. And my ancestors at least would be rich to the gills, and I'd be able to live somewhere where I could go fishing.
How are you making this money? Where are you getting this money?
But you could easily, in BC, back in the 1940s, you could work logging, you could work any kind of oil job, stuff like that, by just picking up work. That would not be a problem back in those days.
We're talking about 1943. Would not have all resources and everything be towards the war?
In 1943?
Correct.
In Canada? Well, but still, you're still going to have logging and stuff. You're still going to have all that stuff you still have to work for. You're still going to have paid
Defense
to do
contracting.
it. Yep.
You suck. Let's go forward.
Have you not seen our freaking military? We have some great catapults.
You guys are Mounties.
I just know the guys on the horses. That's about it.
They're called Mounties.
Okay, come on, guys. You're going to have to come to some consensus here. But Brett's going to 43.
Forward.
Dan's going to 43.
Forward, guys.
So wait, we're
go to
either going to
43.
Canada or Texas. Texas in 43. Can you tell me about Texas in 43? Because I really am poor on history. So enlighten me why I'm going to find the
It's a
benefits
lot of
going
white
to Texas.
religious people in Texas in 1943.
I think it's. Oh yes.
I could be persuaded to go to Canada because as long as we don't have to stick together at our destination and we can go our own separate ways.
No prohibition in Canada.
Well, in 1943.
It's 1943, Brett.
That's one of the reasons I chose 43. No prohibition, no Great Depression. We already
don't know.
9 years.
I don't follow the U.S.'s history. When the hell did you guys have prohibition? I just know you guys didn't allow booze, you crazy.
That just meant there was more liquor at the bars. At the speakeasies.
Why 43 and not the 60s, though? Because Nick wants to go to the 60s. You still keen on the 60s, Nick?
Yeah, 60s.
Did you
want
work
to
it
get
out?
high, Nick?
I think
God, I wouldn't mind the 60s just
I'd
for
be
the
more-
party favors.
Already failed.
my thing with the 60s is that it would be in my parents' lifetime. I don't really care to know them when they were younger because I know how they are now and can extrapolate that. Going back 75 years put me in the timeline where I could actually meet people in my family that I want to associate with or want to get to know better as they were younger. Or at least in middle age.
We're all going to cease to exist.
Screw that! Don't you want to see your kids?
They'll never meet.
Why don't you want to see
What's
your
the
kids?
here's the
of going
thing.
to the future?
Here's the thing about going to the future and seeing the kids.
Dan, tell me about that.
I don't want to know if something horrible happens to my son.
Okay, so let's
Because
skip.
then I'd be stuck in the
He
future.
marries a woman and has children, and you have grandkids.
No,
That
he
would
marries
be-
a man. That'd be terrible.
We don't know that.
It's
Wait,
all-
I don't want to know what's going to happen if
God.
anything were to happen
Get your
horribly.
out and let's go forward, guys. Seriously.
Why not?
Yes.
Why? Okay, so
All right,
let's go
that's
farther
fine.
than.
I would
let's go farther
argue
than
the
50 years. Let's
opposite.
go.
Whoa,
let's go to 100 years.
whoa. Come on, hands up. By the way,
Okay.
50 years is 1968. You get to see some
Honestly-
great
Forward,
bands.
Forward.
I'd be fine going back 50 or 75 years. I'm going back. I'm not going forward. But I'd be fine going back 50 or 75.
In 75 years, all you got to do is live another 25, and you'll get to see all those great bands anyways.
All right, wait, Torrelio. All right, you want to go forward 100. I want to go forward 50. Can we agree? Can you come to my 50?
Yeah, I definitely want to go farther. Not 50. I want to go farther.
You guys live.
We need to go 50, and then we can screw with our families. Come on.
Look,
Am I the only one?
Great, but I agree. I agree with Dan here. I don't necessarily want to see what
Also-
happens with. I mean, I hope my daughter
That's
does
why I
this.
had children. I want to see them. I have
But-
3 kids. I
but
want to
think-
see them.
think about
why
this,
would you
Craig.
guys
Think
take
about
that from me?
this.
You
Craig,
want to take
right
that
now,
from me?
there's
but-
a digital record.
I get
of
2
you.
more years.
They will know what you look like right now. You go forward 50 years, and they figure, wait a minute, there's been some kind of time machine mishap, and now my dad chose to go forward and has missed the past 50 years of my life, and then your family hates you anyway.
Nah, they can handle it. They'll handle it. You know how
See,
many
that's
lies
how-
I
Okay,
told?
hang on. Let Trevor weigh in here. Trevor, what's your theory on this, mate?
I still want to go back. I'll go back 75 years, but actually 50. I was just thinking about it, guys. I'm 44, so 50 is like my lifetime, and so that I want to go back further. There's no way I want to go into the future because it's just too unknown.
You guys are
Lick it.
I mean, big
Everybody-
Like, seriously.
Come on, guys, you've
Why-
got
why
10 minutes
don't you
to
wanna
figure
go
this
to
out.
the
We
Can I
need
ask Hal a quick
consensus.
question?
Yeah.
Can I ask Hal a question?
Go.
Can we, if 5 of us would like to go back, or 4 of us like to go back, can we exit through the portal, those 4, and the other guys be left to
You don't
kill?
listen to directions well. We have to come
Nope.
to a consensus. Come on, guys.
We're all going to cease to exist. in
Craig
15
Levine
minutes.
is correct, Brett. You
No,
We're wasting time.
I didn't know Hal had
Guys,
an
I have my
accent
third
like
question
that.
for you, Hal.
I fear death right now in 15 minutes. I like, seriously.
I have
on-
my question.
Drink
for
some
you,
more.
Hal.
right,
Let's
Dan, go
knock
for it.
everybody out.
Let's
My
hear
last
Hal's
question
question.
My last question for Hal. If we kill the people who do not agree to go into the past, will that count as our consensus?
Maybe just knock them out. Leave them there.
Can we take their bodies into the past and eat them
You guys.
Far. That's too
until
far.
we can make a source of food?
No,
Are we
Hal
going
says
back
that
1,000
the
years?
spiritual beings that enter have to be the
10,000
spiritual
years?
beings that leave.
Probably charged.
Craig looks pretty skinny. If I wouldn't be very much food for very long, but if you can get by on him for a couple of days, that's at least better than
In
nothing.
the 40s, they have spam. You can eat.
Yeah, we can make you.
Wait, Craig, you're the real estate guy, right?
Yes.
Remember?
You might want me.
So you know the history of real estate. Why wouldn't
Go
you
for
want
it.
to go back in time and capitalize on that?
I told you I wanted to go back in time to create a religion and totally capitalize, but since I'm going to age, I don't want to go back and age. I want to go forward and have all the advances forward and have the ability to you guys don't have to meddle with your children, or you could stay with me. We'll create a nice life somewhere on some nice
You can
area.
meddle with Craig.
And then I have to with your children.
With what money, Craig?
Yeah.
With what money?
What's our count right now?
I've got a daughter. She's going to be gorgeous. You know, you guys
13
can go.
minutes.
Are you trying to sell us your daughter?
Provided she's still
Oh,
a daughter in
really?
50 years.
Is that legal in the future?
Are you Trump?
I drank well.
Can,
Listen,
can I just suggest that the 50 years? I look. I agree with Dan. I don't necessarily want to see where my daughter is in 50 years. I do want to go farther forward, because if we're going backwards, you guys want to go backwards because it's comfortable. That's what you know, right? You want to go see your family.
I'm
And what if
doing
you
it for
find out? What if you
unselfish
find
reasons.
out? What if you find out that your family isn't what you thought they were? What if you find out that your family was like the stereotypical mindset of that generation? Like, it was so ingrained
That's what
that
it's gonna be.
the social culture, the culture in that generation, you and I can't fathom. I don't think we can fathom it, because look at the world that we live in today, how integrated we are of all the things that we have. And you're going to go back into the 40s. And is that what are we saying, the 40s? Or are we going to go farther
Craig,
back?
you
than
could
that?
be a god back there with the knowledge that we have today.
I'm not giving up air conditioning. I'm going forward, guys.
Well, hang on. Who here is the primary motivation can either be wealth or it can be family.
Or security?
Who here is thinking in terms of their family? Craig, you're thinking in terms of your family. Brett,
Yeah.
I'm thinking a bit of both.
are you? So family's a consideration. We know Trevor is, because he's going to make them all rich. Dan wants to hang out with people that he's never met before. Nick, family.
It's kind of a family and then build wealth.
So he wants to be the rich relative.
Right.
And
And
did
that's
I
right.
miss anybody there? What about you, Brett?
So I said again.
Did I miss anybody when I was talking about? Oh, David, family or not?
This is no, not family.
Stay away from family.
Stay away from family.
So you're going to be a loner in the future.
Well, I mean, let's provided that my 3 other friends show up with me. Yes, I won't be alone. But I'm seeing this as a losing battle, so we're all going to die in this box. I will
I'm
hold
thinking
out.
about
We will all
shanking
die.
Dan right now.
This is a
Dan
game of
doesn't
Russian
know I got a
roulette.
knife
Go ahead
in
and
my
pull the
pocket.
trigger, because I will die in this elevator right now.
All right. I came into this thought experiment with this mindset. Forward or backward, chances are we're not going to see our families again unless we went forward and then they freaked out because there we are magically. It's some Flight of the Navigator.
But
All
you
right.
don't have to.
So we can either die in 15 minutes or we can die in the past after having a good life and maybe setting things up for our families in their future.
I just want to
And if you-
experience something new.
But just a minute, David. Dan, you're saying that you're going to set something up for them. But you're going to be choosing a paradox-riddled reality to do that.
That's fine. Bootstrap paradox, as long as it resolves on both ends, is perfectly fine.
Because that's quite dangerous, and you've got to remember you're going back with 5 other loose cannons that could potentially also cause paradoxes.
They don't have to survive the trip.
Oh, so
You know,
Did I tell
these
you I
are
brought a
cold.
shiv with me?
I think we shiv them right now, Dave. You and me.
Let's
just get
go.
Dan
Let's
out
start.
of there.
Let's start hacking
Okay,
away.
Dan's dead.
Four
All
on
right.
Yeah,
two.
Dan
I
said.
think
We have
you
to
guys
get Dan
in the future
first.
are done.
Nick's
Dan
too
is
quiet,
currently
so
dead.
Nick's next.
As Dan lies
Hey,
sitting on the
quiet
floor, he says
man,
to
that
Hal,
takes on
whatever the other
everybody.
guys choose, I choose the opposite.
okay, so
No, I could be persuaded to go in the future. I think.
Hey, there we
I'm
go.
not-
There we
I
go,
just
Craig.
don't want
Let's
to.
hit this.
I wouldn't want to sit there and just die. So
We need a
All right,
consensus.
Nick,
we
you
have
want to? Nick,
10
you
minutes
definitely
for
want to go farther,
consensus.
right?
you actually are
wanna-
running
wanna-
down. I'm going to ask you for your votes and final thoughts in 4 minutes, fellas. So you argue it.
I would.
Okay, so Nick, you can go forward. Dave, forward. I'm forward. Brett, can you go forward? Can we assimilate? You don't have to see your kids and family if you don't want
I
to.
want to go back. I want to go back.
I know you want to, but will you go forward?
I'm going to shiv you.
Okay, we're on the shiv level. Dan, we know we're on the shiv level. Trevor.
I think I
Will
still
you
need to go
forward?
back. No, I think I still need to go back.
All right, so we're 3 on 3 now.
Okay, would you guys be willing to submit to a democratic decision? Because remember, you're coming down to the wire here, and Hal
Yes.
says to you, "Look, you're guaranteeing mutual destruction here.
yeah.
Would you be willing to submit to a democratic vote, kind of like Hillary Clinton?"
Over shivving
Oh.
each other, yes.
Okay, so you just have to flip one voter, and I know Brett can flip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
Brett.
Just because I swing both ways, it don't mean I flip.
Okay,
Well,
so we have
seriously,
Mr.
Brett, is your only gripe about seeing the future? Because you don't need to. You can come to South Florida. Trust me, it's better than Canada. Just trust me.
Oh,
They all move here from there. So
I've heard some of the freaking Bible thumpers from South Florida. I can pretty much rather stay in Canada.
I wouldn't really say that Florida's Bible thumper. I mean, they sort of like fall off
Yeah.
the South states. Like,
Texas
they're
is
just sort of.
more.
I think they're all too old to be Bible thumpers.
Okay,
So-
fellas,
so
come on.
think-
We're coming down to the
Trevor,
wire. Which way are we
Okay,
going?
Can I ask you why you don't want to go forward again?
Ooh,
I wanna understand.
You know, it's
Like,
it's
what's
just,
the major downfall? Like, what's the biggest fear that you have about going
Unknown.
forward?
clearly,
you know,
unknown.
my biggest fear. This is my biggest fear of the future. There's going to be one huge divide. There's going to be poor, and there's going to be extremely filthy rich, and there's not going to be anything in the middle. We go back there. We're definitely not going to be on the rich side, and I definitely don't want to
why
be on
would
that
you
poor.
say that?
Okay, so
I'm
you
very
want to
smart.
you want to
H.G.
be you
Wells,
want to
man.
create the filthy rich
There
for
won't
your
be any
family.
doctors either.
Are you
I
kidding
would
me?
prefer to set my family up to be on the wealthy side than to be projected
Do you-
into a
Do you
future.
not have any like? Don't you have any problems with the wealthy people right now?
Well, yes, but see, that's my thing. I can change the very fabric of society by going back and by
No,
helping
I don't
people
think you
change
can
their
because,
attitudes.
Like, people,
I know
people
I
are
could.
very perverse. People are very
I don't
perverse,
know.
far beyond I think what you and I are capable of imagining, or else we wouldn't be having such a civilized conversation. I
Such a
think that
civilized
you and I-
conversation.
You and
We're
I
knee-deep
can
in
you and I
dead.
can talk about this, but when you talk about filthy rich, because you and I don't know what filthy rich is. If we knew what filthy rich is, we wouldn't be having this conversation. In fact, I would probably be sleeping right now. But because I'm not filthy rich, you and I are
My
having this
supermodel
conversation.
life.
No, if I was filthy rich, I'd probably be still having this conversation
No,
because I'd be
no,
bored out of my
fil-
mind and I would be looking
Yeah,
for
no,
something.
you're not going to be satisfied by a bunch of stay-at-home dads talking about the future or the past.
Well,
I'm telling you that
We're
you
gonna
wanna
die
experience
soon,
something worth-
guys.
Okay, we got
We're
we got
deep in
8 minutes.
debt.
No,
So
we
I
don't. We
want-
don't.
I
We
want
have
you to
6 minutes,
experience
fellas.
Something new. Dan,
Okay.
you want to go back to
Let's
the
do it.
40s.
Hold on. Let's do like we do in a jury. Let's go around. Let's go around everybody. Dave, you handle it. Where are we at? Take
Okay,
your
I'm
vote.
gonna start with Craig. Craig, where are you? And direction
Forward
and number,
50. Forward 50.
Mr.
Okay.
Torrelio.
I guess I'm going to go forward 50 with Craig. I really wish he would go the 100.
Okay, Nick Figel.
I'm gonna go back.
I thought you were flipping.
You flopper!
Hey, no. Hey, I'm
there-
trying
there
to
we
do
go.
the
We have 4.
democratic vote, so
Okay,
I
let's
don't want
go.
to die.
All right,
Let's
Nick.
go.
Nick,
Keep
where are you going?
Round,
Good
round.
job.
I'm going
Good job.
back because I don't want 3-on-3.
What?
Hell yeah.
What number?
100 years.
the consensus. I'm okay with it. I mean,
Not
Okay,
giving up
he'll
there.
go whatever.
Hey, if you go 100 years, you'll still be alive for the 50 that you
Hey,
want. It's back.
hey, I want to be alive, so that's I'm joining the consensus here, going
Word.
backwards.
We make it
Word.
backwards.
Okay, Trevor.
I'm backwards 100.
Okay, backwards 100. Dan.
I say backwards 75. I could be persuaded to 100.
Wow. And
Okay,
Brett.
you guys, I
I
want to
say-
hear the justification between 75 or 100 or whatever the other number is.
For me, going back 75 meant that we missed the Depression. We missed a lot of years right there. However, going back 100 years with foreknowledge of the future perhaps could mitigate some of the suck
Exactly.
personally of the Depression as much as I wouldn't want to, but I could be persuaded to.
How are you going to do that? How are you going to stop the depression?
We're gonna
Well,
find.
hold on.
Now
We're not going
everyone
to
was
stop
for
the
it.
depression.
No. You're
You
going to
don't
mitigate
stop the
the
depression.
personal
Just
effect.
like what we just had a few years ago. It's going to be the same thing.
Hang on.
There's still people that have money out there. There's still people that are doing fine.
Right.
It's
Just
So
a
we're
minute,
going
fellas.
crazy.
Hold on.
100 years ago is
So-
1918.
Right.
A lot of good
Scurvy,
years from 1918.
Fever, illnesses, no frickin' air conditioning. All right.
So-
When was Spanish flu?
So you're still
Are
saying
you not
better than-
vaccinated now? Your vaccines will still be valid back then. You'll be immortal
Good
virtually.
point, Dan. Good point.
Good point, but
Yeah,
no one
and
else
Craig,
is.
Craig,
Go into the
Still-
future where others can meet new
Okay, come on,
pathogens and
fellas.
none
You
of your
got 1
vaccines now-
minute. I want an
No.
answer. Hal is saying you're
We got-
playing with
Come on,
freaking
Brett.
past
death here.
100.
the majority.
Past
has-
100, and we can
Before-
change the timeline.
the majority has
Hey,
spoken.
question, how?
Hold on. The majority has spoken that it's going backwards. I think now the only thing we have to decide is the timeline.
100.
I got a shift.
Brett's got a point. Are you willing to go with that, Mr. Torrelio?
Going
Now you get to choose.
Let's go back.
Choose the number.
Let's-
Choose the number.
I would
Quickly,
go back
quickly, quickly.
1968. Come on.
I would go back 50, and that would be my compromise with the guys who want to go for it. I'd go back.
Oh,
minimum.
We're
Lifetime, man. That's my lifetime.
Yeah,
I'm
50
44.
is-
I'm almost 50.
Dude,
That's
Okay,
not-
Brett's put up 50. Who else?
60s, you guys will have a ball.
I like
we'll
the
be
chaos.
good.
I like the
See?
chaos.
Craig,
Just gonna
Craig
go with
just
I'm not
changed
going.
over. Craig just changed over for pass.
No, I'm just telling you, we'll go to a Grateful Dead shows. We could just
Hell
like
yeah.
There you go.
you just go Dead shows for 10 years. I
We're
mean,
going back.
and invest in stocks and
going
earn
back
money
50
selling grilled cheeses.
Go
Come
back
on, guys.
75, you'll live
you know
long
the
enough to see
one
those shows
guy.
anyway.
You know
we're
the one
dead.
guy that ruins it for everybody? The one guy that ruins it for everybody has two thumbs, and it's this guy. This guy's going to ruin it for everybody. Because it
No, we're
has
doing a
to be-
democratic vote. Hal already said we could do a democratic vote.
Is that what it
No,
was, Hal?
Hal suggested it. He didn't say you had to do it.
Oh, yeah.
David-
well,
David
we're all
gets
saying we have to
dissolved.
now. It's
We
democratic.
can all die. We can
hold
all
on.
die.
Hey,
Well, I have a question.
I
I
hope
have a quick
whatever
question
you,
for
I
Hal.
hope whatever your celestial sign is, or whatever your being that makes you tick and breathe at this moment, is going
There's
to
like less than
keep.
5 minutes.
It's going to keep you happy on the other side of the fire because we're burning up, baby. We're
Yeah.
burning up.
I say
Okay, I'm going to give you 30 seconds.
No,
we go back 50 years. That's a, I'd
Are we
say
doing
that's a
democratic?
compromise.
Hal
Are we doing
says
Democratic?
consensus.
Oh,
Back
okay.
50 years, take a vote.
It was good knowing you guys.
Dan, can you shiv Dave at this point? You know, because
I
I'll
already
go
did.
back 50. I'll go back 50.
I'll go back 52.
I'll compromise to 50. I'm
Yeah.
not too
I'll
keen on
compromise to
it.
50.
I'll
Hey, but
I'm going
compromise.
back.
take
I'm
my
good.
life, I guess.
That's what I originally
All right,
said.
so
David.
Dave's dead. We're
So
going back
Shiv
50.
Dave, and we're all good.
Yeah.
I guess that's the case. It was nice, guys.
Okay, here's a question. I have a question for Hal. Hold on. Quick question
Wait,
for Hal.
wait, get his shirt off before it's bloody.
If I make love to the
Size
dead
shoes
body,
is
do
that?
I get charged?
Oh,
man.
I just got
Oh.
defiled over
Hal
this.
just can't answer. He's
Hal just said he'll watch.
Oh.
See what happens when you don't go with the consensus?
I'm dead.
You're all
And now we're all
dead.
caught
Mouth just
1968.
exploded. Bro.
Dead.
Bang
You
and Dave's
almost
corpse.
came to a consensus. I would hate to think that that was in real life, but you almost came to consensus. The closest you got, obviously, was 50 years into the past. I would personally go 50 years into the past. I think that's great. And I would choose a non-paradox. But that's just me, because I would like to see some Grateful Dead shows. That would be awesome.
I saw 7 or 8 of them.
They weren't in the 60s, though.
Okay, Now we're getting down to it, fellas. I'm going to play the outro. Remember, hang on. This is my last show. This is my last show. Thanks
Dave,
to
for
Micah and
everything that
Me.
you
It was
did.
pretty freaking
Thanks,
awesome. Hope you all enjoy it. Enjoy the future. Have a super daddy fun day for the last time.
Or the past.
Yeah.
It's just another ordinary typical day. Me and my daddy gonna go out and play. I hope my baby sister doesn't get in the way. I'm ready for another super daddy run today.
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm fucking talking to you, pal. Can you believe these assholes? Talking about being a dad, all minding their P's and Q's, all PC polite and shit. Are they for real? They think they represent at-home dads? They think they can speak for guys like you and me? These guys. Me and my friends, we're going to start our own podcast. One where we can say whatever the we want. You know what I'm talking about. We're not going to be scared to talk about the dark shit either. The real shit. I don't know what we're going to call it yet, but it'll be awesome. It's going to be raw. It's going to be real. So for now, keep listening to these assholes, because I bet I can con them into pushing our podcast like it was their idea.
Hi, it's David McFee again, the man with only slightly less passports than Jason Bourne. I'm about to take a hiatus to create my next podcast project, and I'm here to give you a little info. So, do you like hiking? Do you like hobos? Would you like to listen to a podcast that combines the two? Skippycast, the podcast about hobo-like travel, launches at the end of October 2016. So, whether it's with a backpack, a VW combi, or a bindle, I'm going to interview those modern-day James Cooks. The only rule being that the travel is unfettered by time schedules, work, and other rat race constraints. So come October, join me at skippycast.org.